So I just wanted to go through what props you might need this evening. Very basic, as always, we keep it quite similar. So maybe a pillow or a cushion for your head. I quite like to put a little bit of height at the back of mine just to let my neck lengthen a little bit. And also an eye pillow when you come down to um, the restorative part of the practice. And it's always really nice to have something underneath your knees. I've got a bolster here. It doesn't need to be. It could be a couple of cushions, a couple of pillows, anything really just to elevate the knees. And the reason we do that, I think this is a useful bit of information to have. The reason we elevate the knees is to direct the thigh bone into the hip socket a bit more to the back, not so much towards the front of the pelvis. Here it's towards the back of the pelvis. Now this, for our nervous system, is a signal to relax. This is why it feels so nice when we pop these bolsters or other props there. There's that feeling of, oh, and it just helps you relax faster. Okay, so that's why we do that. And of course, you might need well, I'm pretty sure we'll all need a blanket or something to just stay warm. Okay, so we're going to actually start laying down today. And we're going to do a little bit of quiet work down here on our backs to prepare us to lay still in the restorative part of the practice. So we're just going to be doing very gentle movement. It's more about you inquiring into your body as to how it feels, being at a slower pace. And the thing with that is we get the opportunity to really sense how we feel. Speed reduces sensation because you're obviously thinking about the next thing in front of you. When we don't have the next thing in front of us to think about, we can then just be here in this present moment. So if we have a very cluttered mind, there's too much up here that's distracting us, then less is more actually, because we can just really be with ourselves. Now, the only caveat I will add to that is sometimes we need to release things out of the body first of all, in which case a little bit more movement than what we do tonight would be better, okay? So if you feel still quite unsettled, I would say do a little bit more movement, maybe a little bit faster, and then come down into your practice, okay? So just see how this goes tonight and use this as the gauge. So when we come to the restorative part of the practice, I'm going to turn what is a bright light over here so you can currently see me. I'm going to turn that off, and then you'll have the lights, the aurora lights, stars, and our lovely moon here on the wall. So this kind of helps create the right ambience for you, all right? But also to not have a bright screen at your end when you come into the practice. And I really recommend you turning your lights down and doing things like that to help with this end bit. And also, I just quietly close this at the end in case you still are down there and enjoying where you're at. I don't want to disturb that too much, but yeah, I also want to say goodbye and see you next time. So yeah, at the end, it will be a quiet close. Okay, come down onto your backs for me. If you need a little bit of support underneath your head, that'll be fine. And then just wiggle your pelvis on the floor. Locate your bones. The thing about bringing your awareness into your bones is we can sense the heaviness of them, the solidity of them, and that's calming and very grounding. So maybe the tail, the sacrum, both sides of the pelvis, you're able to feel those. Maybe you can then come into sense in your thigh bones, especially if you can turn your muscles off from working. And then up your spine to your shoulder blades. Can you feel those on the floor? Can they relax? And then your arms down the sides. Now give yourself time to connect with your breath. And know that this practice is conscious. You are working at resting. We have to guide the body there first, and then the mind will follow. The breath will get softer, and then we're into that space of relaxation. So let's straighten the left leg. And this right leg, let it fall out to the side. Just for a moment, if you have anything going on in the hip and you need to support it, a pillow, a bolster, a brick, anything underneath there, just to support it. And then bring the foot back so it's flat on the ground, and then slide the right leg. We're working with just the right leg at the moment. Slide it away and let all the bones relax. Notice how your weight drops. And then let the leg flop to the side, and imagine that someone is pulling the inside of the knee out to the side, and that will bend your knee. You can drag it up and then place the foot flat on the floor again. And notice where in your body softens, because there's likely muscles in the left leg are helping you make this action. So we'll do it again. Slide the right foot away. Let the leg completely relax. And then someone is holding the back of your knee, dragging it away to the side, and then bringing the foot flat on the floor and relax again. So we'll do one more of these on this side. Slide the leg away, soften into your bones. Take a breath in and imagine somebody pulling gently and softly the knee to the side, and then you bring the foot so it's flat on the floor. Back of the pelvis and the lower back relaxes. And then slide the leg away. And we'll switch. Slide the left foot in. The knee is in the air to begin with. And then we let it fall out to the side to begin with. Just for a moment to pause and sense the hip socket. And then slide the foot to the end of the mat and relax. And then bring that leg back in. The foot is dragging all the way. And out to the side again. So note, we're doing this the opposite way round on this side. I wanted to give you the two options. On the right side, we went straight leg down to the end of the mat, bent knee out to the side and back up. And this is the reverse. So now slide your left foot to the end of the mat and relax. So you could alternate between these if you wish. I'm just giving you the options to know. Bend your knee towards your ceiling and the foot comes back in. Because this is a short class, I can't always go through all options with you. And this last time, the knee releasing to the left. The outside of the foot gets dragged. The leg is straight and everything relaxes. So hands on your tummy. Let your breath expose itself to you. Try not to over control it. So you might have a sigh sitting in there ready to come out. So please do let it come out because it's a form of release. And then bend your right knee, the foot on the ground. Bend your left knee with the foot on the ground. Right knee towards you, left knee towards you. And we're just going to move the knees whichever way we like. It could be they do individual circles or they do a circle together. It really doesn't matter. It's just see if you can let your body do as it wishes and you go with it. And apply your breathing. And make sure that you do this in both directions. So you'll feel the back of your pelvis as you're doing this. It's a nice release for the lower back, especially if you've been either sitting a lot today or actually walking about a lot today. This will feel really nice, especially if you go slowly, because I think that you can really notice the difference of how one side feels compared to another. We can make the appropriate adjustment. Maybe we need to pause somewhere to breathe and to feel. Okay, and a gentle squeeze of the knees towards the shoulders, the armpits. Hold that in just for a moment. And then slowly release that, putting the feet back onto your mat a little bit further than underneath your knees. And now we're going to let the knees sway side to side, but I don't want you going all the way to the floor. This is just a little lift of one side of the pelvis, a miniature twist in the back. Breathe in the center and then take those knees to the other side. Not all the way down because you're coming up. And I really don't want you to feel like there's effort to this. When you do have to lift the legs and lift the knees and come back to center. So that distance will determine that. If it feels like effort, you've gone too far. And good breathing here. Exhale when the knees sway to the side. And that in-breath to bring them back in. So a couple more of those. And as you do this, think of the back of the pelvis being weighted. It's really heavy. And each time the knees are in the air, there's a feeling of groundedness. So if you have a micro pause there to sense that, that might really help to calm things down for what's to come next, which is our restorative relaxation. Okay, this time when you bring your knees back, pause there for a moment. Maybe drop the knees to touch one another with them still in the air and the feet a little bit wider. That might really invite the lower back to switch off
And maybe you feel the onward response of that up the back to the lowest ribs, to the bottom edge of your shoulder blades. To the lowest part of your neck. Okay, so I think we can bring all our props in now to support our lying position. So as I said, something underneath your knees to bring out that change in position of your thigh bone into the sockets. Your nervous system will thank you for it. And a pillow or something else for your head. Something that's comfy. I'll be switching the bright light off in a moment. And obviously an eye pillow. So an eye pillow, just put that across the brow line, not directly over the eyeballs, if you have one. So I'll do a small amount of breath guidance at the beginning, and then I'll go quiet so that you can fall deep into your rest. So by all means, make all of those adjustments. They are very important because you don't want to be distracted with body discomforts when we're here. The mind does enough of distraction. So I invite you to take a nice, long, slow in-breath. And then release that out-breath either through the nose or softly through the mouth. There's hardly any sound to this. So if that really felt good to you, I'd do it a few times. Knowing that each time you're dropping deeper, lower. And you'll know when you've done enough because your breath will feel settled. And then you can observe that lovely, quiet, settled breath. It's undisturbed, it's easy, it feels nourishing. Your body begins to really soften, yields to the floor or whatever it is that you're laying on. Consciously resting. consciously relaxing. And consciously quiet.
So we've come to the end of the practice, but if you wish to carry on lying and relaxing, you're in your own home, perfect place to do that. So thank you for coming tonight, everybody, and we'll meet here again next month. Namaste.